Ready? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. I have a build series going on for a 1968 Ford Mustang Coupe. Been a journey. I don't know what part this is. This is like part 18, 19, 17. I don't know. It's somewhere in there. I probably should be finding out what part we're on before I start these intros. But anyways, I have a build series going on for 1968 Ford Mustang Coupe. We have been on a journey with this car. It is not run. This car is not run, and I think at least, at a minimum, over 20 years, this car sat for a really long time. We got most of the interior done. We got the transmission rebuilt. We have the engine rebuilt. We have the car epoxy primered. We got the whole underside sanded and painted. We got new front brakes. We got almost, I would say almost everything. There's a lot left that we have to do. But in today's video, we are focusing on getting the engine done and getting this car started for the first time. Technically in over a year. The car did run when I got it, but it ran on like 4 cylinders and I drove it into my garage and it's sat since. Before that, I want to say it's probably sat for about 20 years. But yeah, if you guys happen to enjoy this video, please leave a like. And if you guys are new to the series, go check out those other videos before you watch this one because there's some spoilers. If you guys have been following the series and you're not yet subscribed, please go down, hit that subscribe button. It lets me know that you guys are enjoying these videos. But yeah, I'd say that's enough chit chat. Let's go ahead and let's just jump right into it. Alright, we can go ahead and replace our solenoid since our new one came in the mail. I'm hoping this is our problem. Well, actually, I have to correct some of the grounds, so I'll do that next. I'll try and see if I can get one of the ground wires on the motor situated, and then I also have to do a wire from this side of the solenoid down to our starter. So, get our solenoid out of the way. I gotta pee.
Hey, yo, what the?
Alright, here's our new one. Alright, so currently my workbench is too loaded. We're just going to make this wire right here, but I need this to run the power wire. And then I also need to make a proper ground from the motor to the body. We're going to make that right now as well. Use this in the vise to get a really good crimp on it. Let me get underneath the car. Alright, I'm gonna knock this out off camera, but I have to ground the motor to the body of the car somewhere. I'm gonna find a really good spot. I gotta make a better ground for the negative terminal on the battery, so I'm gonna find a better spot for that, and then I'll catch up with you guys. So I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna just do that off camera because I'm in a hurry. I do want to get this thing cranking today and in real time. So alright, I'll be right back. So I have the motor grounded to the body of the car. Trying to make another ground for the battery. Just gonna ground it right here. This is just for testing purposes. I need to try and make a really good ground and crank this thing. Alright, there we go. We don't have spark plugs or anything hooked up. No fuel or anything. I just want to make sure this thing will actually crank. Let's see. Alright, she just wants to click. I think we're having a ground fault. 19. Remember this one. So let's unplug the alternator wires. Let's see if that's causing anything. Nothing's hot. No fuses are blown. I gotta make some phone calls. Alright, so 3 hours later, we have a couple things done. I made new wires for the batteries because the old ones just were shit. And I was seeing a spark when I would crank, so I thought maybe there was some connection problem with the batteries. I found 2 wires that I had backwards. Got those corrected. I got the alternator out and everything. I fixed my ground down at the block, fixed my ground on the firewall. I think we're ready to try and give this thing its first crank in a year. This motor has not cranked in over a year, so fingers crossed we are good. My heart is like literally fucking pounding out of my chest right now. Alright, we're in accessory mode. Holy shit. I'm like literally fucking shaking. Damn, okay. Let's fucking go, baby. Guys, you don't understand how long I've been dealing with this wiring. I probably have 20, 30 hours in just the wiring alone, and I'm not even done. I just wanted this thing to crank. We still got to deal with a whole bunch of other wiring. One of the battery cables. I'm thinking it was the battery cables. I don't know. I still have to fix one of the new battery cables because I made it too short, but let's fucking go, baby. Alright, so don't mind the look. I just woke up, but I'm like in a time crunch. I need to get this thing done. It's been a while since I picked up the camera. As you can see, all of the wiring is wrapped. We have everything landed where it needs to go. There's a couple things that I'm gonna have to do. I have mechanical gauges arriving, so I'm gonna have mechanical gauges timed in for the temperature sensor, the oil pressure, and I think the other one's for voltage, but I could care less about that. I want to make sure this thing's getting the correct oil pressure and this thing is not overheating. That's the last thing you'll want. Right now, it would completely toast the motor. But what I'd really like to focus on now that it cranks, there's some other stuff we have to dial in. I want to get the transmission just completely done. I already have the drive shaft put in. Man, that rear end just looks so ugly. But what I need to do now is go ahead and put the transmission dipstick / fill tube back on. I need to get the shifter put back on so we can shift this thing into other gears and fill the transmission back up for a startup. You don't want to run it dry, so I have to get those things done. And plus, this transmission is rebuilt, so I really do want to make sure that I can go through the gears and run perfectly fine. I mean, we're not going to know if it's going to be perfect until we get it on the road, but I'll have it on the quick jack and up in the air. We can have the wheels spin in the air. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get going on the transmission. Again, the wiring, I think, for the most part on the engine side is done. There's some couple things we got to do, radiator fluid and all that, but we'll worry about that when we get to that. But right now, I think I'm just going to get on my back and I'm going to get the transmission done. I'm trying to see where the transmission fill tube goes. Can't find it from here. Now I think we're good to go underneath the car. I'm gonna cut I don't even know if I can, but I'm gonna try and cut a little slit in the carpet to run our shifter to. Okay, no, I do. I have room. So I'm gonna start putting some coolant into this radiator. You got no leaks, so let's just keep pouring. That wasn't enough, so we're gonna go ahead and just cap this off for now, and I just placed an order for another. What we can do now is fill up our transmission. Smells like shit. This should take all 5 quarts. And then we'll have to top it off after we run it in idle for a little bit. Alright, so one of the last things I need to do is get a throttle return spring. Either I can hook a spring from the front of the throttle assembly here to the front of the motor, or from the rear to the back of the motor. I'm gonna hook it from the rear of the motor, but I wanna build my own bracket for the spring to hook to. I got some aluminum material I can make a bracket out of. I gotta find the right size bolt I need for that, and I got an assortment of springs that we can use. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get to crafting on the bracket, and we'll see what we can mock up. Alright, so this is the bracket we got. It's gonna bolt just like that. And then our spring can hook just like that. Now there's a couple things I need to get situated. I have our switch for our electric fan. Obviously I'm not going to use wire nuts, but this is just to temporarily make sure it works. I have the power to the fan run to the auxiliary on the ignition switch with a inline fuse. The fan should be able to turn on when I hit the switch. I was thinking about possibly running a relay for it, so when it gets up to temperature it kicks on, but I think I'd rather just have the switch, at least for now. But alright, so with the key in the on position, the fan doesn't just turn on. You have to hit the switch, which you can see turns on the fan, and if you forget to turn it off, you just turn the key off and it'll turn the fan off. But I'm gonna go ahead and do a couple things, fix up some of these wires a little bit, get this switch permanently mounted somewhere underneath, and then tidy up a few vacuum lines. I got the vacuum line for the transmission ran, I got the vacuum line for the brake booster ran. I need to run a vacuum line for the distributor, which I think goes off on the carburetor somewhere. Yeah, so I'll need to get some vacuum line for that. I gotta figure out what size that is. It's got to be smaller than 1/4 inch, because I think this is 1/4 inch, so 1/8 inch vacuum hose, so we can run that. We gotta do a jerry can because I don't have the fuel tank done yet. I don't have the fuel lines done, so we'll run everything from a jerry can just to make sure we can see if this thing starts. Fingers crossed it does. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some of that stuff off camera, and then I'll get back to you guys. Alright, just a little quick voiceover for you guys. I forgot to film a transition video from the last clip to this next series of clips that you're going to see. So pretty much a quick rundown. I got everything finished for its first start. So I thought the gentleman you see in this video, his name is Evan. He is the one who rebuilt the motor, but he helps me correct everything. Well, I assist him with trying to get this thing started for the first time. But yeah, that's enough chit chat. Hope you guys enjoy. I did verify spark and everything too on each plug. Ready?
Yep.
Ready?
Pop number 1 spark plug that up real quick. Just the number 1 right here.
I have number 1 as this back one right here.
Should be. This should be number 1, right?
No, this is number 1 right here. Marked right there.
Okay. Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Going back.
Okay. All right. So 1.
Which
You
one
said.
is 1? This one.
Yeah, I got this one as 1.
Pop
So
that off there. It's gonna be 1.
and then it goes. It's just this way, right?
This way.
Oh, then I got it. I had it going clockwise.
Okay. Yeah, it goes counterclockwise.
Okay, so 1 here, and then the next one is 3.
Right all over later.
Yeah, I want to shorten them later at some point.
Not building on. Alright.
My apologies. Thought I had it. Ready?
Yeah.
Should we put the mufflers on, or
Nah.
just verify wheels are off the ground? It's in park. It should be in park. Wheels are not off the ground. I'm just gonna lift it up some more. All right. Scared, dude. I'll be all right, right?
Yeah.
Ready? Fuel leak where? Oh, I didn't tighten that enough, or is it that?
I don't know if it's the fitting or the line. I think it's the. It's not from back there. It's either this fitting. Or
I
the
tightened
line.
all that because I came loose.
Yeah.
What do you need? Open box and wrench for that, or what is that?
Yeah, 5/8.
Is it not coming in from here?
No, it's all soldered together. Oh, let's try again.
You don't need Teflon for that, do you?
Huh?
You don't need Teflon for that, do you?
No, there should be a.
Well, what are we doing on oil pressure? Did it build?
Yeah, I made like 50 pounds over.
Okay.
Good, all right.
Ready? Here we go. Just to recap on everything that we found, I got a brand new alternator. We metered our wires to find out that this thing is not producing, that the alternator wasn't producing any voltage. So I got a new one slapped on. We have a coolant leak from this plug right here, so I'll need to take this plug out, put some tape on it. We're building fuel pressure, so fuel pressure is definitely not a problem. Pretty much everything is good. I just got to tidy up a couple things. Evan did suggest to go ahead and crank on all the bolts a little bit, make sure everything didn't come loose. Not just that, they start to expand or shrink, things heat up and cool down. So I'm just gonna get a quick snug on all the bolts. But the first thing I want to address is this coolant leak. A little bit's wanting to come out, so I'm just gonna vacuum it up. Didn't want to create a massive mess. Put this back on our plug so I have room to, and we'll just tape this up. Four rounds should be good. Then we'll insert our plug back in. That should be good right there. And now we're just gonna go around and just give everything a little snug. Make sure everything's still pretty tight. Yeah, there's a couple things that we need to do. I need to get the transmission situated, shifter. I need to go through the gears on that. Before we do that, I would like to get the rear end removed and sent off to be rebuilt. Real quick, I just want to give a shout out to the guys at 10 Speed Performance in Temple, Texas for getting this motor dialed in. Specifically, Evan, he came out, got this thing fired up, and yeah, you guys got to see the process there. The smoking on the motor, you guys got to remember that I painted the motor itself and the exhaust manifolds. Yeah, we're getting to the point where this thing will actually be on the road. Hopefully that could be in the next video. I don't know yet because I might break it up. We'll see. I got to do the gas tank, fuel lines, and all that. With the rear end out, I think I'll be pretty good with getting the fuel lines done, and then eventually getting the brake lines to the rear tied in. So yeah. But other than that, if you guys happen to enjoy this video, please leave a like. If you're enjoying the series, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Motivates me to keep coming out here and working on this car. Once I get it dialed in mechanically, we can go ahead and get the cosmetics done. I got a new hood and a new trunk coming. But yeah, I got a mess to clean. So I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.